Doing so this is a, for people that aren't familiar with this deck before, this deck is a combo fog deck of sorts. It's basically a deck that when you go off, you take all of the turns with Nexus of Fate. So in the meantime, you like cantrip through your deck and you get Primal Amulet going, and then eventually your Primal Wellspring starts doubling up your Nexus of Fates for you. So without too much ado, let's dive into some matches here. This deck is one of my favorite style of decks to play. Just get to like sit there and draw a bunch of cards, which is a good time. Yeah, I agree, JW. I'm glad that they just went with an objective metric like that instead of having something, instead of like some just like playing favorites. If Chromium dies, you can pick him back up with Memorial to Folly. If Chromium gets exiled, you can no longer win the game. Taking the cantrips and replacing them with mill is a really bad decision in my opinion. One of the reasons why this deck is good is because it has consistency from all of the cantrips. Taking a break from my final project, Unbanned Deathrite Shaman in Modern. Thanks for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. All right. At least we hit land number 2. With the Pridemate here, we might actually die. We can't miss another land drop at this point. All right, sweet. That is well on the way to not missing another land drop. We need to hit land 4 next turn, so that way we can go Amulet into Cleansing Nova. I don't know what Nuzulu does. All right, need to draw an untapped land so we can play Primal Amulet. We might also just be dead here. So we're taking 5-7 down to 11, or down to 15. Sorry, math is hard. All right, am I dead? Am I just dead on board? So these are both gonna get bigger. So this will be 11, 12, 13. So if they have any creature, I die. I think I'm actually supposed to pass here and just Radical Idea plus Revitalize, because this is 9, 11, 12, 13, and this, if they play a creature, I die. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pass here. And also fake settle. Eraserhead, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Wow, they didn't have the creature, huh? That sucks. This is the best fake settle deck, and it's not close. Loam is love. I missed your second one. Deathrite Shaman did nothing wrong. 7 days till you graduate. Finishing college is great. It's like the world opens up. The $1 million PAX price pool is invite only though, right? You can't have just qualified for it. So I'm actually going to decline playing another cantrip here since I hit the land already. Dilrethis, thanks for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. The conservative play here is just kill this with Cleansing Nova, right? Do I just kill this with Cleansing Nova right away? They'd have to play 2 creatures to kill me. What are the odds they play 2 creatures? Like really low, right? I think I'm supposed to Amulet and just hope that they can't kill me from 5. They could be holding a Conclave Tribunal here, which is awkward. Like, their hand is, like, obviously, like, removal spells or lands, most likely. Yeah, I agree. I think if they had 2 creatures, they probably would have played them out. Yeah, I generally don't change formats midstream. Wow, brutal. That's rough. Main deck invoke. Main deck invoke. So now I'm dead to a single creature, right? Just like any creature kills me here because I did that. Yeah, nice, sweet. All right, let's wipe that out. Remember, chat, 1 and 0 are different numbers. 1 and 0 are different numbers. I'm not dead yet. There might be some way to make a 5-color. I have a 4-color Dragons deck in my queue coming up at some point. Probably Sunday or Monday. All right, so I think we're at the point where we're gonna combo here, right? So I'm gonna go ahead. This is how we get comboing. So let's chain through these. I need to have 7 mana left over when all is said and done. I haven't played a land yet. Hey, Max Zim, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support there. I appreciate that. Welcome. I'll take another amulet at this point. So I could Nexus here. So this transforms this over. I want to put a stop on... Oh, gee, is it not going to stop on my upkeep? It's not going to let me stop on my upkeep, right? It's actually... So I have to put full control mode on. So the reason why we want to stop on our upkeep is because we want to cast this Nexus of Fate before we draw a card for the turn. And the reason for this is we want the Nexus of Fate in our deck. Yeah, well, I'm not sure I can play this deck in the tournament if that bug's not fixed before Tuesday. It would probably be really tough to play if I have to full control mode every time I want to do that during my upkeep. It's gonna get real tedious real fast. All right, so I have 1 turn floating right now. And then I'm gonna cast this Nexus of Fate, which will give me 2 more turns floating. And then eventually this Primal Amulet's gonna flip, which then my Nexus of Fates will start giving me 3 turns. Yeah, there's one Elder Dragon in our deck. The win condition for this deck is actually Salt. You generally don't win the game, your opponent gives up. See? Told you. Sodium win condition. There is a Magic Arena streamer tournament on Thursday or Tuesday that I'm going to be a part of. There are somewhere between 32 and 64 streamers invited to it, and it's standard best of 3. And it pays a good amount of cash. I don't know that I'm allowed to say how much cash yet, but all the details for it will be up on Monday. It's not being run by Wizards of the Coast, it's being run by Twitch. And Twitch knows how much money I make them. They know. Twitch knows I'm popular. They don't have a beef with me. I've got nothing but good things to say about Twitch. What's the name of this deck, KCI? Exactly. All right, so I want my extra Settle the Wreckage. What do I want to cut? Need to cut a card. No, I've boarded in one card. I need to cut something. What time does it start? 10 a.m. PST. So noon cornfield time or 1 p.m. Eastern. Cut Chromium, not needed. It's funny because it's true. Yep, has a sweeper, has lands, cantrips. Yeah, I'm trying a different sideboard today. The sideboard's like the one thing I'm not super happy with, so I've been pushing some things around. I also added a white source to the mana base, and I added a third Settle the Wreckage to the main deck. Alright, looking for white sources and amulets here. Don't really need more cantrips, have plenty of those. You can't win through Settle game 1. That is correct. There aren't a lot of people playing Settle the Wreckage, though. The reason to play Chromium as the win condition in this deck is twofold. The first is that having a black card as your win condition lets you cast the Dispersal part of this card, which is useful on occasion. The second reason to play Chromium as a win condition is that he's hard to deal with, and on the off chance you bury him with a Surveil or he gets discarded, you can Memorial to Folly him back to your hand. So there's a lot of reasons to have Chromium as the win condition. We don't have Teferi because we have Nexus of Fate to avoid decking. And this deck, while we have some sweepers in it, you often use your Life Soul in this deck very heavily as a resource. Which means that you don't have a good way to protect Teferi most of the time. When you lose to Settle, you lose the game. Post board, you have 4 copies of Negate to beat Settle the Wreckage. Great, let's take out the trash. If they're holding up Settle mana, you can usually get Dispersal or 2 multiplied 2 to 3 times to empty their hand. That's also true. Well, that opponent realized what their time was worth, aka more than that. I might play this deck on Tuesday just because it's a free tournament with no entry fee or travel cost, and like, this deck's hilarious. I love when I like take a second and like fully explain why we're doing something, and then someone's like, isn't this other thing just better with like no validation? Please remember that if you want to be critical of something that I say here on stream, that's encouraged. I love to generate meaningful discussion, but you need to actually generate a discussion. If you just tell me I'm wrong, you're going to get a 10-minute timeout, just like the stream rules tell you. So please be familiar with the stream rules if you're going to post in my chat. It's funny, Zach, but I can't talk about exactly how much money the tournament is on Tuesday just yet because the details aren't public, but it is probably better expected value than going to the Invitational was. So it's that much money. So not a lot. That's fair. It doesn't take much money to be better EV than going to the Invitational. Going to something like the Invitational is pretty terrible value. It's probably better EV before travel cost too, honestly. There's also like, there's a lot of people who stream Magic that are invited to it that don't play Constructed as well. Just like by virtue of like playing Constructed all the time, I have more practice than a lot of the folks that are playing in it.
The dragon whispers of your demise.
There's a deck list on your screen. Alternatively, you can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. I got you, Ken.
They are coming.
Maybe it's worth it to clear the welcomes. Depends on what the board state looks like. I probably want to just keep that. Although I guess if I want to just find my amulet here this turn, ideally. All right, we're going to bin that. We have our Memorial to Folly for later. Perfect. Deckmaster claims to be working. Looks like it's all set up. The participants are not announced yet either, GW. People that are in it can talk about it, but they haven't finalized the list of people just yet.
I'll show you unhinged.
I'm gonna hang on to this radical idea till post amulet in play here. Sonic Assault. All right. Do you have an Ionize? Counter spells can be tough game one. Yeah, definitely Alkali will do. And yeah, that'll be good because Jund Dinos is a deck I might play on Tuesday as well. Yeah, getting hit by a counter there feels real bad. Counter spells are more blue-based control decks are the bad matchups for this game one. I think post board you're probably favored in a set of 3 with like our counter spells and stuff, but game one we definitely have a hard-ish time with counter spell decks. Would you rather this radical idea be a charter course? Not even a little bit. Radical idea is very, very important for this deck. It often is how you flip amulet. See if they have a spell pierce here. No, I don't think I'm going to play the Pirates deck. So, because there's a bunch of people playing in this thing that don't normally play Constructed, I'm expecting a lot of people to register a bunch of aggro decks. And the reason to play Pirates is because it's good against green-black and Jeskai control. And I don't expect those decks to be super popular among people that are just starting to play Constructed now. They have another Niv here. I'm probably just going to concede. Looks like we're getting Niv'd again. They're probably like a 4x Niv Sarkin deck. Enigma Drake, that's good for us. I wonder if they thought they could Sarkin this out. I'm gonna dig for an Amulet or a land tier. What I just talked about there, Dimir Spy, is the correct way to metagame. I'm not making a bunch of stupid decisions based on my thing. I'm just like narrowing the set of things that are otherwise reasonable based on information that could or could not be correct. I'm like not gonna play something that's only good against aggro decks and loses to everything else. I mean, 64 people isn't really a small tournament.
What madness!
We did deck someone with their own Niv one time, and it was sweet, sweet justice. I think I'm gonna take the Discovery here rather than the second Settle, just because I don't want them to know about the Settle. Try and find a land or an amulet here. I mean, they could have ulted it last turn. So I'm going to, if they don't attack me for lethal next turn, I'm going to end step Nexus of Fate, so I can take 2 turns in a row, ideally. Yeah, this is the last year that the World Magic Cup's happening. Good evening, wife.
I told Jake you had to go with Declan. He said, no, 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 I stay home with Daddy.
That's really funny, because last night the only thing he wanted to do was go get Declan with you.
Uh-huh.
Kids.
No, 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 no. I stay home with Daddy. Can he stay home with me?
No.
He doesn't want to go.
He'll survive. He's 4, he doesn't make the rules. Alright, so, like, I feel kind of bad if they have a counterspell here, but, like, a counterspell here means that they're less likely to have a counterspell for Settle the Wreckage next turn. So, if this resolves, we get to take 2 turns in a row here, which is good for us. Really want to draw an amulet, so I'm going to go ahead and start by digging with Discovery. And there's only 2 amulets left in our deck at this point, which feels a little bit bad. Alright, so another Discovery. So, gaining little bits of life doesn't really matter. Alright, that's a land drop that I haven't made yet this turn. And activate Azcanta, then we'll start our next turn. Alright, let's do this. Grab a land, I guess. Tough decision there. Dead to a counterspell, but we're dead to a counterspell regardless. Looks like they don't have a 2-mana counterspell at least. Alex, thank you for the biddies, I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me employed here. If I activate this and hit Nexus of Fate, I can cast it. They could have a Syncopate, you're not wrong. And they get like a couple looks at a counterspell here, right?
Told me I should do this.
Hey, good, bad, and ugly. Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. So keeping me employed here. Oh, they are digging for a 3-mana counterspell.
Think you can beat me?
Think you can beat me? Yes, hopefully. Maybe? Uncertain. Remember, anybody, if you cheer 100 bits or more or donate $1 or more, you're welcome to take a peek at my deck queue and let me know which deck you'd like to move up in there. All the content on the channel is viewer powered, so if you support my content, you can dictate what we play when we play it. That is a very confident attack with all. So I assume we're dead. Yeah, Discord can be found here. You need to link your accounts up. Do you have a counter or no? Which is it? Yeah, I can pay for that one. That one we can pay for. All right, so you're saying there's a chance. 4-mana counterspell, not good enough. Got it. Cheerio, mate. All right, looking for an amulet, and like, We know the bottom 3 cards aren't an amulet, so we've got 23 cards that we don't know with 2 amulets in them. That is Sonic Assault, Bob. The MMR reset with the update today, so I've been playing against a lot of medium stuff. All right, let's start by activating this. All right, I'll take a do-over. Check out our options. That's a do-over, right? I mean, we're making land drops while we do this, I suppose. All right, that's a do-over. I get to revitalize here in the middle of this too now. Well, we need an amulet to actually combo, because we can't really get ahead on taking. All right, all right. You're not wrong. We're not dying anytime soon. And now, so now that we've got amulets getting thinned out of our deck here, we're looking to get our deck down to just copies of Nexus of Fate. I'm gonna take this Settle List back up for later. And I'm gonna go ahead and cast this Ritual of Rejuvenation to go up to 19 here, so we're out of range of scary things that could happen to us. All right, so we're up to 19 here. They get a turn, but like next time we draw, there's 2 Nexus of Fates in. Oh, I guess there's 1 Nexus of Fate in this many cards. Ooh, that's a Niv Mizzet. You think we can deck them with their Niv Mizzet? I bet we're gonna be in a position to deck them with Niv Mizzet. It's very possible that that's gonna be an option we get to us this game.
Let's see what we got.
Them having 9 mana up is a little bit scary, but like the fact that I'm gonna get to double my Nexus with this Primal Wellspring is good. I guess they could theoretically kill us this turn, huh? If they just like draw enough cards. Have I already cast all 4 Dispersal? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I am through all my dispersals here. We could die. They could kill us from 19 with the Sniv. All right, this tapping low is really good for us because it means they likely don't have a counterspell up next turn. 20 cards left in their deck. So I'm not a guarantee to find my thing next turn, but I get to draw a card. So if my second Nexus of Fate is this card, if my second Nexus is this face down card right here, that's 5 from the top of my deck, we could potentially be in trouble. All right, we shouldn't be in trouble. Got it. All right. The opponent's library has 20 cards in it currently. All right, so I'm gonna take a couple more hits here. Before I get too low, don't worry, we're gonna Ritual of Rejuvenation again. All right, so now we have 2 turns in the bank right now. So we'll start by casting Ritual of Rejuvenation off this Primal Amulet to gain 8, draw 2. And this is how we'll avoid dying to their Niv, drawing them all the cards. There's only 7 cards in my deck, and we won't deck because our Nexus of Fates are going to keep shuffling back in here. And then we're eventually going to deck them with their Niv Mizzet here. So there's 16 cards in their deck, and I have the ability to gain even more here with these Revitalizes and Rejuvenations. Yep. Yeah, they could, if they figure out what's up, they could start pointing their Niv triggers at himself. But I'm gonna assume they aren't gonna figure out what's up. And even if they do, I can like put my Chromium into play. All right, so let's do this. Oh, right, we can just not cast that many spells in a turn. Yeah, Chromium's dead, but I have a Memorial to Folly. That's why we play Chromium, because Memorial to Folly picks him back up in the event that he gets discarded. Yeah, can we just like donate our opponent a Niv Mizzet? Listen, chat, if you feel bad for my opponent, you need to just remember they can concede the game at any time. Yeah, Chromium is our win condition if they don't have a Niv Mizzet. But while they have Niv Mizzet, we're gonna kill them with that. Salt is the win condition. Down here, salt is a way of life. I would love to transform this. This is, if you haven't watched this YouTube link, you need to make sure you watch that. It's very, very good. No, damage is wiped off of creatures at end of turn. So if they start pointing their Niv triggers at Niv, we'll just pass the turn to ourselves. Yeah, this is unlosable at this point. Unlosable has been declared. I'm gonna go ahead. I bet they're gonna concede when I gain 12 here. Yeah, on the left side of the screen here is a visual tracker for how many turns I have. The overlay does not show you how many cards my opponent has in their deck. So it's not blocking it. The overlay just doesn't provide that information to you. It's called an overlay because it goes over everything else. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and cast this Nexus of Fate and put it back into my deck here before this next Ritual of Rejuvenation resolves. Because there's only 4 cards in my deck, so I just want to make sure I don't draw out here. So now at this point we just kill them by Nexus of Fating over and over and over again. If you thought Teferi made people salty, you haven't experienced this deck yet. Thank God they made Nexus of Fate an instant, or 7 mana, instead of, so it's not playable. Alright, 8 cards in their deck. I'll move to my turn here. Alright, during my upkeep. Alright, I would like to take 2 more turns here, please. How many extra turns do we have? Enough. Oh, it's cute. They think they can kill their Niv. I like how they've just now finally realized what our win condition is. And so now they're like trying to panic kill the Niv. I guess if they have a shock here, they could technically shock or lightning strike this, right? Alright, I'd like to take 3 more turns here. Man, Niv's really unbeatable if you untap with him, huh? Niv's just unbeatable. If you think this deck is sweet and you haven't seen it before, it is sweet. This is one of the many deck lists you are missing out on by not checking out my website, jeffhoagland.com. There is a standard deck list, standard decks button at the top of my website. There contains lots of really awesome decks that are sweet like this and reasonably competitive. We untapped and Niv was unbeatable. Yep, pretty much. My deck is 2 copies of decks. Can you say hello? Can you say hi, internet? You gotta wave. You're only good enough for a wave, internet. I'll be unmuted in just a moment. Christy, so my current office in this home is en route between where they have to walk through to go to the garage, so Christy's going to pick Declan up from daycare, so her and Jake gotta walk through here. You can tell, you can feel the sodium when they're making you click through it. They're just like mono salt. Look at all these extra turns. Look at all these extra, and I could be adding 3 to the extra turn counter every turn. We're just not, you know? We're just not. Why did one chemist hit another chemist with the periodic table? To see if he could collide with and stand the elements. All right, they're in the garage. I like how this is the part where they've conceded. Like, they've played this entire game out until that point, but like that's the point where they finally conceded. Achievement unlocked, killing them with their own Niv. Close enough. Sounds good, Coons. Thanks for the support. Alright, so I want Negates. I want my extra Nexuses, Nexi. Maybe I don't want all of them. I want the extra Primal Amulet. The Ritual of Rejuvenations are probably a little clunky. What do we think of this? How competitive is this deck? We win a lot of matches of Magic with this deck. I like it a lot. You don't have to take just this one stream as my word for it. There are a ton of videos of it being played on my YouTube channel and my website. Amulet, Titan in 9 months, and my favorite standard deck. Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate that. And Love Chop, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine. Yeah, do I want the third Azcanta? The third Azcanta is probably pretty good. I don't want to have too much stuff. So like my opponent's deck has Drakes in it. So like it's possible that like I should leave some Settles in. I don't actually know. I got you, Ken. Spyglass. So like I'm not 100%. So the sideboard of this deck is kind of a hot mess. I don't know exactly what I want to do in every matchup. And I probably need to figure that out. Also, like, the deck my opponent's playing is, like, a weird deck, right? This deck is all over the best of one ladder. What are its bad matchups? The Drake's deck is a bad matchup for it. Tempo decks, Pirates, Mono Blue Tempo, Drakes, things that have counterspells and pressure. We have 1 copy of Chromium in our deck. He was just in our discard pile that game. I'm just trying different things and seeing what sticks. Lochi. The board's almost completely different than the last time I played it. I'm just not sure what's good and what's bad. Is there anything you'd modify to make this deck more control, give 1, or giving up? You're just giving up those percentage points. You can't make the deck better against control with game 1 without dropping your aggro matchup considerably. Wow, I think this is they killed me with my own Niv Mizzet, and I am so annoyed I walked away from the computer. That's why they conceded, because they just walked away from the computer. Salt is a way of life down here. The air is salt, the walls are salt. Am I getting early access to Evolution's Ocean? I don't believe so, Nuka. Oh wait, are they back? That seems good. Maybe they just had to AFK for a second. There's a deck list on your screen via the Stream Decker widget. Alternatively, you can also type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list directly. Try to be organized around here so people can have access to the information that they want. Sorry, we're crossing into dinner time now, so I'm having a small snack. Hopefully our next opponent will have a little bit less sodium in their diet. All right, so this dies, create a 1/1. So black-white vampires, it looks like. Yay, MMR reset. So I'm not gonna play a cantrip this turn, because I'm gonna play Primal Amulet next turn, and I want to cycle through all of these with Amulet in play to flip it ASAP. So getting this flipped, and this is a good example of like why Radical Idea is fantastic. Someone was asking about Charter Course versus Radical Idea, and Radical Idea is the type of card that makes it harder for us to brick off. I feel really bad if this is a starter deck. This deck that we're playing is definitely the type of deck that, like, if you queue a starter deck into us, you are going to probably quit playing Magic the Gathering. It's a pretty big hit. I'm gonna lead on Anticipate here because we could find a Settle the Wreckage or a Wrath of God. This could still find a Settle the Wreckage. We're not dead. We're gonna go ahead and Radical Idea. This'll flip, we'll Revitalize, gain 6. And then hopefully we'll combo them. So, Radical Idea. This'll go to 3. Radical Idea again, ditch this land. This is gonna flip into our 6th land. Revitalize, gain 6, draw 2. And then next turn, I'll Nexus of Fate. Take 2 turns. So I have 2 turns in the bank. There's a good chance the game is over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and Primal Amulet, and I have 1 turn left over. And I get to Discovery here, dig deep. I get what, like 800 looks at another copy of Nexus of Fate now. You're basically just binning everything that's not Nexus of Fate. Worth noting, I binned the Memorial to Folly there, so I can't bin Chromium, otherwise I won't be able to win the game. Oh, look at that, I found a Nexus of Fate. So now I'll do this. Just any cantrip here lets me take 3 turns next turn. I did miss on a cantrip. Okay. So if I play this Nexus of Fate costs 5, so I can do that. So I can Amulet, and then I can Nexus of Fate, flip this next Amulet, take 2 turns. I'm technically out of cantrips at this point, so if we break off here, we could have a medium time. I am gonna get Search for Azcanta going though, so we're less likely to break off from that perspective. I have drawn a brick, so I get 6 looks at a Nexus of Fate this turn. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that just because I have Primal Wellspring. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to keep that because of Primal Wellspring. Oh look, Nexus of Fate. All right, now I'll take 3 more turns. They were so close to victory, chat. And then it was just viciously snatched away from them. So I have 2 more turns in the bank now. I'm gonna go ahead and do this and draw 3, gain 12. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Gonna get him, gonna get him. This feels like the first time you discover Modern to get matched against Storm. Yeah, basically. Oh, look, Nexus of Fate. So I have 2 turns in the bank right now. Wouldn't it be nice if I could just add 2 more? I guess if I wait a turn, I could add 4 more. All right, 3 turns in the bank. Discovery. This is a real trooper. New Magic players don't like to concede, God bless them. They let us have all the fun. Hey, look, a Nexus of Fate. And eventually, our deck is just gonna be mono Nexus of Fates. Hey, look, a Chromium. I guess we'll win the game. If you're gonna twist my arm about it, I'll try and win the game, I guess. Our win condition is, in fact, a single copy of Chromium. Oh no, this is what someone was talking about. I can't click on my land because it's hidden by I can't click on the land because it's hidden by the things. Can anybody do this? I can't click on the because it's hidden by the awkward. All right, I guess I'll just add 3 more turns instead of 4. Oh, there's a left arrow. Oh, okay, I could have hidden it. Got it. There's an arrow. Got it. You're super right. It's fine. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna survive. The arrow's new. Little thing right here at the top. For the record, we're 3-0 with this deck tonight, and that's the first time we've attacked with Chromium. We're 3-0, and that's the first time we've attacked with Chromium. Oh, this deck's great. So the reason to not play Teferi in this deck is that this deck uses its health total as a resource very liberally. That's why it plays all the cards that gain life. So we don't have a meaningful way to protect Teferi a lot of the time. The sweepers that we play as reset buttons are like last resorts or often are used once we're low on health total. So like if you play Teferi in this deck, it's often just gonna die to their creatures. You stacked your deck with more salt. Is this another person salting off and timing out? You know what? I've got my jar of peanuts here, and they're only lightly salted. They're only lightly salted peanuts, and I'm sure after these last 2 matches, they are now heavily salted peanuts. Hy-Vee is great. They deliver the groceries to my doorstep. It's wonderful. While we're waiting for the sodium to digest, these people are great. Please check out their stuff. These people, also great. Check out their stuff. Find all my sponsors on my sponsor page on my website. They are truly wonderful. Can you recommend this deck for climbing? I probably can't recommend this deck for climbing because people are going to rope out on you a lot because they're going to salt off like a monster. Do I have to wait for them to time out twice? I think that's how this works, right? You have to wait for them to time out twice. You have to wait for them to time out and then go a second time? That's really terrible. Why do I have to wait for people to time out twice? That's true. It is faster than the 10-minute Moto timeout. You're not wrong. I use my salt time to report them to WotC. Yeah, I should go back and grab usernames and report these players for sure. Give them the old smack in the back of the head. Just be like, that's not okay. All right, we're gonna farm sodium for at least one more match here. All right, sodium farmed. On to the next one. What do you use your salt time for, chat? If you click the Stream Decker icon in the upper right-hand corner of a deck list, it opens the deck on the Stream Decker page, and Stream Decker has an export to arena function. I'm gonna make myself a note to message the Stream Decker dude and find out if he can put that button directly on my site. A lot of people ask that question, so it'd probably be useful to have there if possible. This hand's actually pretty bad. It's like a 6-card hand. I guess the 6-card hand is fine. It's hard to pass up Cleansing Nova and like lands and stuff. Yeah, the export to arena on Stream Decker is on the left side of the page. That's true. We can ditch it to Tyrannical Idea. That's fair. Never use the word retarded in a derogatory fashion in my chat ever again. You've been timed out for 10 minutes. If you come back and do it again, you will be permanently banned. Wife, if you're listening to my audio, Declan brought his coat down to Jake's classroom this afternoon. Savit's raid, thank you very much for the host, Savit. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good Friday wherever you're at. Good start to your weekend. We're currently sodium farming in the best of 3 queue. We're playing a take all the turns Nexus of Fate deck along with Amulet in it, and our last 2 opponents might have roped out on us when we beat them. That being said, this looks like the Drake's deck, which is probably a hard matchup for us. They have pressure plus a clock. Probably should have Radical Idea'd there. This deck's very good against the aggressive decks in the format and decent against mid-range, but it's bad against decks that have counterspells. Disruption plus a clock. There you go. Pressure plus a clock is obviously redundant. Disruption plus a clock. You got me. Oh, are they not the Drake's deck? Wizard's Lightning is interesting. Yeah, they could be like a Gutter Sniper. What's the O for? The Static Barrier card. And thank you very much for the host subs. Savits, I appreciate that. Electrostatic Field, that's the one. Yep, the O4 that pokes you. So we would really like to find our cantrips that gain us health at this point, since the opponent's being pretty aggressive here. Lots of strikes upstairs. Perfect. Like, obviously I could Settle the Wreckage this next turn, but I have Cleansing Nova the turn after that, so I'm like not in a huge rush to do that. For those of you that are interested in seeing the deck list, you can type !deck in chat to get a direct link to the deck list. If you're on the desktop, you can also use the Stream Decker widget that's on the left side of the screen to see the deck list in visual form. Always try and do my best to make the information accessible for folks. And welcome to everybody coming over from Side Beach Stream. Up here to get start your weekend. We're hanging out playing Standard here for the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. The list of decks that I plan to play today are listed in the stream title. Perfect. Rejuvenation is also a good draw here. That'll help us buff our health total up a little bit more here. So I'm going to get to go Basic Island into Cleansing Nova, kill these 2 dorks, and then the Ritual of Rejuvenation will help keep us alive here in the long term. Depends on how much more pressure they have. If they have another Drake, we're probably going to be in a little bit of trouble, because the Drake's killed pretty quickly. Yeah, that's a big in. Is there a Settle the Wreckage on the bottom of my deck? There is. I'm going to start with Opt here and see where we go. I do not need another Nexus at this point in my life. Alright, so hopefully this Ritual of Rejuvenation means we're not going to die this turn. Although we could. They have Lightning Strikes and Wizard's Lightning in their deck, so if they have Shocks as well, their build is particularly aggressive. I can use Chromium to basically be a removal spell on a Drake at some point. That is something we can do next turn, potentially. That being said, we're taking like 5 here, maybe even 6 or 7. I assume they're going to cast an instant or sorcery or 2 here. If they have even just like a Lightning Strike or a Wizard's Lightning, that's +4, because it does 3 damage plus adds 1 power to the Drake. I also have Discovery Dispersal to keep this at bay a little bit starting next turn. Can send that back to their hand to make them replay it. The problem is, even though we're going to have answers to the Drake starting next turn, we're probably going to just get burned out with like Wizard's Lightnings and stuff like that. I'm going to do this now, so that way they can't Lightning Strike me in response to it later. Hopefully we just go to 6 here. Okay, sweet. See if they have a... If they play a second creature here, like they are, I think I'm actually just going to cast this Nexus of Fate as basic. Well, now we're just going to do that. Magic's a tough game sometimes. Magic's tough sometimes. We're looking for an amulet here. Just going to bin both of these, digging for the amulet. Never forget, chat, Magic is a skill game and the better player always wins. No variance here. I wonder if there's Phoenixes in their deck. I feel like there's a chance there aren't Phoenixes in their deck, because they have to like cut something to fit in all these other cards, right? So I have 7 lands in player. Do I have 7 or 8? There's 7. Ooh, that's an amulet. Huh. So... did I just Nexus? I think I'm just going to Nexus and see where we go from there. Getting another land into play seems okay here. So do I want to just Chromium and block? Or do I want to Amulet and try and start digging through cards? I think I want to Amulet and start going through cards here. I get a few looks at Settle the Wreckage. Yeah, it looks like they're just playing. It's weird to see Electromancer without Phoenixes, but that looks like what they're playing. Well, that's a Settle the Wreckage. I guess I just keep both of these, huh? Hey, we'll snipe for food. Can't wait for January to boost this to the 20-month mark. Thanks for the content. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Thanks for shipping your Beza bucks this way this month. All right, so I think I just settle here. I can settle plus Radical Idea. And then hopefully that gets me to a point where I can copy this next turn. No, this costs 2. This is the gain 4, which costs 2. That's a really good attack. I think I'm priced into doing this turn, though, right? Am I? Am I? No, I'm not, actually. Just gonna do this, and I'm gonna Ritual of Rejuvenation here. And then next turn, if they attack with just one, I'll Chromium and eat it inside of combat. I think it's the line. Sure. We could die in response here, right? They could, like, find double Lightning Strike. That's a good one. I'm actually not going to cast this at end of turn here, because if I find another card to flip this over with next turn, I can double cast this and gain 6, which would be ideal for me. Yeah, maybe I could have baited by jump starting on my turn, potentially. I don't know. Like, this deck is easily the best Settle the Wreckage deck in Standard, because they, like, if they attack in with Settle, if they attack it, if they choose to not attack into Settle, you get to get them with your health gain cards. And if they do attack into Settle, you get to get them with Settle. So you kind of get them in, like, the catch-22, the damned if they do, damned if they don't. I think I can take this amulet. I think I'm in a position where I can do this. I think this is fine. And then I think next turn, I'm probably, even if they attack with just one Goblet Electromancer again, I'm probably going to Settle the Wreckage it. If I can flip this over next turn and start any Nexus of Fate, probably puts this game away. I wonder if I'm supposed to Revitalize in response here. I think I'm supposed to Revitalize in response here. Yeah, to dodge, exactly, dodge triple burn spell. I don't want to just get, like, triple bolted out of the game. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. This deck is so sweet. I think this deck's pretty competitive, too. I messed up when I tapped out for this amulet. I definitely should have tapped this black source instead of, I definitely should have tapped this black source instead of tapping, this extra white source, but it looks like it doesn't actually matter now. I'm just casting this to get a counter on my Primal Amulet. Obviously, they can counter it with this. Do they have Banefire? They must have, like, Banefire, right? 3 mana Settle. Thank you for the biddy scoons. They next leveled and used us to ramp. That's what it feels like. I kind of feel like I got used. I think they just wanted to protect the Drake, which I guess makes sense. The Drake is pretty good, right? So I have 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So I could go ahead and Radical Idea here and still be able to play Chromium, which seems good for me. So if I put this into play, if I copy... Oh, actually, I could just play this Search for Azcanta, right? If I do this, I could still play Chromium. Yeah, I have, wait, is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have 8 mana. Sure. So Chromium's gonna block and trade with Crackling Drake here because we have Memorial to Folly to get him back later once we're comboing. So this is why we play Chromium as a win condition and not something like Banefire, because this way if we have to use our win condition on defense like this, we can pick it back up later with our land. Snapcaster Dragon, thank you, Coons. And thanks for using the charity cheer. So now we're gonna get a lot of looks at, ooh, that's a little scary. Oh, we do need to find a black, right? Yeah, I'm going to need a copy of, if I find Nexus of Fate here, we should win the game. Oh, I have black off the Amulet lands. Good call. So this is triple Settle the Wreckage, right? The problem is this Niv Mizzet kills us. So what do I do here? I have 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 mana. Right? I have 10 mana. So do I draw 3 and try and hit Nexus of Fate? I've played both my Cleansing Novas, right? Yeah, I've played both my Cleansing Novas. What are the odds I die to this if they untap with it? Pretty high. I think I'm supposed to draw 3 here. Yeah, they have three Chemist's Insights in the yard, right? Like, I'm just gonna die. Yeah, we're dead. God, that was so close. No, I don't think they forgot Siren could counter settle. I think they knew that. The problem is now I can't cast, Now I can't cast Nexus. Yeah, just needed Nexus a little bit sooner. Yeah, I don't think they forgot. I think they were saving it to protect the Drake. Here's a time where Charter Course is greater than Radical Idea, sure. But we still would have died, right? Like, I literally would have missed still. Alright, what am I doing here? This matchup seems really bad for us. Like, they have Siren Storm Tamer, in addition to, like, getting a bunch of counterspells out of the board. I'm just gonna move along with our lives and try and find another. I had to hit on the first one, Clacker, and I looked at over 6 cards and didn't find the Nexus of Fate. So Deep Brian, the reason why I didn't do that is because they had 3 Chemist's Insights in their graveyard, each of which were going to deal 3 damage to us. And they likely were going to draw more cards to deal even more damage after that. So, like, there's a good chance they were winning that game without attacking. So the reason why I jumped and triple Radical Idea there is because I felt like I was likely to die without them attacking. Pretty easy mulligan here, no second land. It's so weird to me that people feel the need to come into a Twitch channel and complain about the things that's being displayed on that Twitch channel. Did you know that your web browser can browse lots of different sites? So if you don't like something someone's streaming on Twitch, you don't need to announce it to the world. You can just change the channel. It's a lot like your television at home. What are we playing after this one? Oh, we're going back to Dino Frenzy. Yeah, play some more Frenzy, sounds good. My mouse is all the way over there. Yep. Right, sweet. I think these white-based mid-range decks are decent for us. I thought this was the Jeff Hoagland browser. I should make one of those, like fork Chromium, and produce that just like only browses to my websites. I think I'm actually gonna bin both of these here. I kind of want a second white source and a Settle the Wreckage. I'm probably gonna play this again on Sunday. Maybe we'll try Chart a Course on Sunday. Oh, that's awkward. That's awkward. Definitely just assumed that was coming into play untapped. I could have anticipated there to like try and find that untapped blue source to opt. Like not the end of the world, but it's a little annoying. Just sounds pretty narrow, Brian. And then like they could counter your second thing as well. Just like this deck's problem is this deck generally has too much clunk in it. Is usually the issue that it has. So like the cards you're suggesting there like makes it even more clunky. You don't really need to get the spells back. I agree with that sentiment. So they're attacking me for 4, 5, 9, 12 next turn. So, and they can't Flower Flourish yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and Amulet. And then next turn we can dig for Cleansing Nova / Settle the Wreckage. No, I think just getting the Amulet into play is better here. They could Conclave Tribunal me, but if they do that, I'm probably dead anyways. So like, don't play around cards you can't beat is one of the best pieces of advice you can give. So like, you want to think about cards that can beat you and then think about, do you have the option to play around them? And we just really don't here. I think all the lines we take pretty much end with us losing to this card. And now need to draw Settle the Wreckage naturally. All right, 2 shots at Settle the Wreckage. And then if we miss on drawing Settle the Wreckage here, we're going to play our land and then pass immediately to bluff it. And this is the kind of the squeeze you can put people in. It depends on what my opponent wants to make me have here. Like if they just attack with a couple of things for lethal, now I get to Revitalize and not die because I had Revitalize, which then in turn gives me a chance to draw my sweeper for when they finally decide that that's what they want to do is make us have it. Get to put this on them, this like kind of fun squeeze. Sure. All right, so I get this 1 draw to draw Cleansing Nova, and then now this gets 2 looks at Settle the Wreckage to keep us from dying next turn. I've been neglecting my nightly duties, but I'm back now. Tara, thanks for the 13-month resub. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Welcome back. All right, and then we hit a consolation prize here. So, like, what do they want to play around? They attacked for 9. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? How many times? We're probably gonna lose this game, but it's still a fun game of Magic. Oh, Magic's great. So, the unfortunate part here is they have an Adanto Vanguard in play. We're so close, but they have an Adanto Vanguard in play. I'm gonna Discovery first before I try and hope they forget. Oh, Magic. Magic is a wonderful game. Magic is the highs and the lows. The highs and the lows. All right, what's our best chance to not die this turn? What is our best sequence to not die? So I have 8 mana. If I anticipate plus opt is my best chance to find Settle the Wreckage. Okie doke. Don't mind me, just over here spinning my tires. Don't mind me, just over here spinning my tires. So you're saying there's a chance. All right, alrighty. Survey says. Okie doke. Do I keep this? Do I keep this or do I take a random? What technically gives me more looks? So I'm running out of mana is the issue. It's not the same. I only have 3 lands left. And like, so I've already played 3 Revitalizes. So most of my life gain spells that are left are gonna cost me 2. Transforming the amulet doesn't do anything. I need to find, I think I want a random. Obviously I'm gonna get a land and die, but I think the random is better here. So close. We were so close. Transforming doesn't give us more mana because it gets rid of the cost reduction front of the amulet. That's the thing you need to think of. I think a lot of people lose that computation when they're doing the math. Is like you lose the part where it's making your stuff cost less. 3 mana settle. Oh wait, that was a genuinely fun game of Magic. I enjoyed myself. I hope you all had at least half as much fun there as I did. Just gonna board in the extra settle and click submit, I think, here. Trim and opt. This is going to be our last match with the Amulet deck, so if we win this game, we'll play one more, and then we're going to move on to the green-red Dino Frenzy deck. We've got green-red Dino Frenzy, Sultai Merfolk, and then something. I think we might play mono-black Banefire for the last one instead of just Jeskai Control. The last one is a Jeff Picks deck, so I think I might do Banefire instead of just Jeskai Control. This probably isn't good enough. I'm gonna keep. If we hit any blue source, it's really good. Even if we just hit another plains, the Ritual of Rejuvenation buys us some time. We have Cleansing Nova. I don't know. There's a chance we just like draw blue cards and die with this hand though, for sure. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Never forget, folks, I'm a trained professional. Do not attempt this at home. Mulligan better. They just announced that there's going to be 32 professional Magic the Gathering players streaming starting soon. Those are the people you want to watch if you want good Magic. We're just here to have a good time on my channel. Just like trying to hit my lands naturally here, I think. Perfect. Yeah, the announcement was on ESPN and everything. We're almost like a real esports here with Magic. When is the Twitch sponsored Magic Arena tournament happening? Next Tuesday. So 3 days from now, 4 days from now, 4 days from now. As much as I want the life gain, I just want to hit my land drops here. Perfect. It sounds like my wife is home with the monsters, so I'm gonna have to mute myself momentarily while my 3- and 4-year-old tramp through my streaming room on their way upstairs. Yeah, they announced the 32 people this evening, actually. Rude. So definitely gonna need to Cleansing Nova next turn because this is gonna power up all of these otherwise. Can we get another Vanguard off of the Nova? Asking the real questions. Do they know what a Danto Vanguard does? They actually just don't know what a Danto Vanguard does. God bless. Man, that card would be really bad as a 1/1 that just attacked for 3. Yeah, Andrew Beckstrom tweeted that he declined an invite due to his work commitments that he has. It is different. Yep. Standard best of 1 is quite literally a different format than best of 3. Just the types of decks that you're going to play against in there. I'm looking for an amulet. I don't really... So, like, obviously I can cast Nexus of Fate here, but it doesn't really behoove me to cast Nexus of Fate when I'm not really doing anything with my turn. So, like, I need, like, an amulet in play or something along those lines. Where's it hinted at saying things like we've noticed, so we're thinking how we combined. Did they actually say they're thinking about integrating best of 1 in with normal Magic? That would not be ideal. It would be really rancid if best of one became a thing at high levels of competitive Magic. It would make tournaments shorter. You're not wrong. Shorter and saltier. All right, so I have a turn in the bank here. So the next turn is mine. We're flooding here a little bit, which sucks. I do have the Settle the Wreckage though, so I've got that going for me. Probably gonna want to hold this extra planes in my hand, so that way, probably want to hold the extra planes in my hand, so that way if I draw a Radical Idea, I can use that. Ugh, it's unfortunate. 33 cards in my deck, soon to be 34. So we'll take a hit again here, and then we'll do the end step Nexus and take 2 turns in a row. I think we're probably just dead at this point. I guess I could draw another Settle to maybe not die, but I don't think it reads like that at all, Clacker. I think it reads like a justification for why they're putting best of one in the ladder first, but like that gives no indication that they're thinking about moving competitive play to that. Can you say hi?
I take my coat.
Oh, you gotta take your coat off? Oh, you want me to take your coat off because it's on backwards? I mean, okay. I mean, I guess this Nexus of Fate's like a redraw with all my mana, right? I think I have 2 turns. I think I have a turn in the bank still, right? So like now I have 2 turns in the bank. I believe this is incorrect because it doesn't show these correctly if you cast the first Nexus at the end of your opponent's turn. Is what it does. And like, we're taking lots of turns here, but we're not actually accomplishing anything, right? We're just like kind of spinning our tires while we do it. I mean, I guess I'm gaining 4 in some of these turns. Just like not really accomplishing much though. I believe I'm passing to myself one more time here. Okay, and now we literally, all right, well, we had a good run. We had a good run. We're not dead. We're not dead, right? It's only 7. Alright, sometimes you lose to people that don't know that their Adonto Vanguard has text. That's okay. That's okay. It's just how it goes. Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about the sideboard of this deck. I think we're probably gonna play this deck again on Sunday. I'm gonna be done with it I'm not done streaming tonight, but I'll be done with this deck for the night. Variety's the spice of life, so I don't like to stick on one thing for too long. I like to rotate through. I might try some other ideas on the sideboard next. I'm actually going to make the update now to the main deck. Someone in chat said they've been having good luck with Charter Course over Radical Idea. So I think I'm going to make that swap and try that out for Sunday when we play the deck again. All right, what are we doing next here tonight, though? We're going to play some Dino Frenzy.